Did you hear about the Von Erichs at all before you got into the business?
Kind of, because, I was in Dallas at the time, and, the Von Erichs were like gods there. So, yeah, I'd heard of them.
Right. What are your first memories of Fritz Von Erich? The very first time you met him, was he
A very overpowering guy.
That's what I was going to ask you.
He very, very much so.
A lot of people say he was kind of like the old style Vince McMahon of the 80s, with just the way his demeanor was.
Yeah, he was tough.
Did you see him be tough on the boys as far as like his own kids?
Everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Any promises made to you from Fritz when he first brought you in?
Oh yeah, I was gonna make a ton of money.
Right.
The funny thing is, the first show I did, I came from Portland just to do the show. I was going back, but the first show I did, I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, this is the way it's going to be, and then from then on, it just got less and less and less and less. I think their heyday at the time was before me, because I think the wrestling's like this,
100%.
And not so much anymore, but I mean, in those days.
Your entrance into the business started after David passed away. As someone outside the business at the time, do you remember how it was covered with the media when you first came in? Was it a big story locally in Texas that you were?
That I was a cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody believed it. Obviously, nobody understood. I mean, nobody knew that it was a work back then. So everybody was, into you. So, memories of walking to the Sportatorium for the very first time to meet with Fritz. How did that meeting go?
I don't know. I felt intimidated because he was like, "Yeah, this is what you're gonna have to do, and if you hang in with us, we're gonna make some money." And it's like, okay. And David Manning told me right after that, he said, "Don't worry, we'll take care of you." And,
right.
Yeah.
Was Brody in there at the time?
He was.
In and out?
Yeah, he actually helped me a lot.
Okay.
I liked him.
Right before you got into the business, what were you doing as far as, was it college, or did you have another job?
No, I was actually selling real estate at that time, and I drove in with a brand new Jaguar, and everybody said, "Why do you want to wrestle?
Why do you want to take bumps when you already have money?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. What actually made you jump into the business when you already had a really good job? Was it?
I always thought, I was like a really big guy at that time.
Yep.
Not so much after I started wrestling with him, because I was working twice a night, and I had no time to work out or anything. But I always thought I would, I would be a movie star. Well, you hope to be a movie star or do commercials or something like that. And so that's kind of the reason that I thought, well, this would be a good avenue.
Did you like the training? And what aspects of wrestling did you pick up the easiest? Was it the bumping or the psychology?
No, the bumping probably.
Easy to pick up, or was it?
Kinda, yeah. The psychology is much more difficult.
How many months into the business do you figure that you started saying, all right, I'm getting the hang of things here with the psychology?
After I left the States.
Going back to Africa?
Yeah, to Africa.
Okay.
Because in South Africa, there's a huge wrestling community there. That's where I actually learned.
Wow.
And what's kind of funny is that everyone treated me really well. All the heels. In both. In
Portland and Texas?
And both. They treated me really well, which I was surprised, especially in Texas. I would have thought they would have been a little bit more, have some animosity because...
Taking their spot or whatnot?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had an easy way to, kind of work my way in there, which didn't turn out to be a great thing.
Right.
Like I said, where I made my money was in the pictures and in commercials. I didn't make money wrestling. And I think David Manning had actually said talking to the guy that wrote the book, the thing that he thought was wrong is they didn't pay me enough money.
You made your money on the merchandising and stuff.
I did, yeah.
Did you have any preconceived notions on what wrestling was before you got into the business?
Had no idea.
No.
I wasn't a fan, so.
Okay. You mentioned your very first, one of your first matches also was with Jake, and I think you wore a mask. Were you nervous working Jake?
Yeah, it's your first time, so, and he was actually really good, and I wrestled with Ric Flair as well, like 6 months into
wow,
working in the business, and you know, he can make anybody look good.
100%.
Really.
He can work a broomstick handle.
No, he can actually.
Yeah.
It's true.
And work a good match.
Yeah.
Did Curry Von Erich help you at all? Was he close to you?
Yep. We were really good friends. That's the only one of the Von Erichs that actually, we had something in common because we liked working out, and he treated me really good.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you all about Curry coming up for sure. And Kevin, was he a little standoffish in the beginning? Did he like the idea?
Nope,
you?
hated it.
He hated the whole idea of you being a Von Erich?
Yeah, he hated everything.
Did he ever say anything to you about it?
No, but I know that he had a problem.
Right.
He told me later on, and he had.
What was his main problem?
A couple of things. I think that he thought that because I had no experience in the business, you know, that I'm coming into a business that they had to, well, they also had it pretty easy because they're, in a way.
There are gods in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think that, you know, it wasn't easy for them to grow up in that family as you saw in the movie, right?
Yeah. What did you think of the movie? Accurate?
Part of it, yeah. I think my part was non-existent. There was like
2 seconds.
maybe, and also Chris Von Erich. They just cut completely out. It's a lot. You know what? It's a lot of information, and it's a long. It would be a long movie to put everything in there.
Yeah.
But I think if the director's cut, they're like, okay, well, this would go on for 5 hours. So I think that may be why.
How did your family react to you getting into the business, given what a wear and tear it put on your body at the time away from home? Were they for it, or?
No, my mom was like appalled. She said, what am I going to tell my friends, that you're a wrestler?
Right.
You know, I come from a family that, well, my dad was very well educated, and, you know, she kind of thought, wow, this is not what we hoped for you.
When you went up to work for Don Owens, I think your first ring name was Ricky Vaughn.
Uh-huh.
Any idea what inspired the Ricky part of the name?
That's just what Don Owens wanted to give me. He thought it was a wholesome name.
What advice did Don give you when you first got into the business?
He said, stay here for 3 years. We'll give you a big push and learn everything you can. And from a guy named Sandy Barr.
Yep.
And really great guy.
I think that was the booker at the time, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And that was actually, in reality, like I said, I don't have really good memories of working for the Von Erichs. I really had good memories of
That's interesting.
In Portland.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the wrestling fans, the smarter ones, will always remember you from Texas, but I don't think they remember it from Portland.
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm actually doing an appearance.
That's right.
And the guy said, we'd love to have you because,
That's awesome.
you know, it's been 25 years since, or 35 years since you've been there.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.